Alright, continuing our Final Fantasy XVI preview coverage, there was a really interesting story dropped by Game Informer in regards to why Final Fantasy XVI is a PlayStation exclusive. And if any of that sounds exciting to you, feel free to click the like button, and if you want to stick around for more information, you can subscribe as well. So this interview comes to us from Game Informer, specifically Wesley LeBlanc, where he spoke to Yoshi P in regards to Final Fantasy XVI's status as a PlayStation 5 exclusive and how that came to be. So Yoshi P says that it's important to distinguish that Creative Business Unit 3 doesn't go into game development thinking it wants to limit a game to just one platform or company. When the team started development on 16, the studio looked at all options. Final Fantasy being one of Square Enix's first important franchises up there with Dragon Quest and the Kingdom Hearts series, when we do begin development, we do approach multiple platforms, multiple companies about releasing the game. And when you approach them, they're going to come back to us with their offers. And this is something that they have to consider. They have to consider everyone's offer and try to figure out which offer works best for them. And in this specific scenario, Square Enix just really liked what Sony and PlayStation were offering. And of course, the article does mention that Sony and Square Enix do have a history with one another that dates all the way back to Final Fantasy VII debuting on the PlayStation platform, a series that before then was a Nintendo exclusive and people expected to continue on with the Nintendo 64. Yoshi P continues to go on by saying, Creative Business Unit 3 wants as many people worldwide to play the game as possible. That said, from a developer and programmer perspective, limiting development to one system makes it not only easier on us, but allows us the ability to optimize it. And that allows the ability to maximize performance for that one system because we're only concentrating on that one system. The article does go on to mention, and we've read this before in previous articles from different companies, that this isn't just a money-hatting situation where Sony's throwing money at Square to keep 16 away from people like Microsoft and the Xbox. Sony is actively helping in the development cycle for this game. They go on to say that PlayStation in this instance, its developers and programmers are helping Creative Business Unit 3 maximize the game's performance. Yoshi says, it allows us to create the game that we want to create, and it makes it easier for us to do that. And again, this is something we've talked about in previous videos, but Sony is clearly active in the development cycle of this game, especially when it comes to optimizing the game's performance for the PlayStation 5. And what better people to come in to help you optimize your PS5 game than the people who actually worked on the console itself, whether it's hardware or the software side of things. Yoshi P mentioned that they did have a number of Sony Interactive Entertainment developers come on board and really help them with the optimization process for 16. And what's really interesting here is that it's kind of a full circle moment. If you look back at the development history for Final Fantasy VII, one of the reasons they ended up going with the PlayStation over the Nintendo 64 was the tech. It was going to allow them to create the game that they really wanted to make without any type of hardware or technical limitations. So it's kind of interesting to see that echoed today with Yoshi P and his team and Final Fantasy XVI. And it's also nice to know it's not just a situation where Sony's throwing money at Square to keep this game away from other people, but they're actively helping. And I think ultimately that's what really sealed the deal for Yoshi P and Square Enix to go with Sony. It's not just, hey, we're going to give you a lot of money, we're also going to assist you in the development process for this game. So it is pretty interesting to see that some of the decisions made back in the day that affected the Final Fantasy franchise, in particular 7, are still kind of having an effect on the Final Fantasy franchise today with 16. With that being said, that's the video. I'm Curious Corduroy. Leave any of your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What did you guys think about this Game Informer interview, about the whole PlayStation 5 exclusivity thing? I know it's still a really touchy subject for a lot of people who, don't have PlayStation 5s, or they have a PC and they're gonna have to wait for that version to come out. So it's definitely something that has kind of rubbed people the wrong way, but there is an explanation behind that reason. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Please remember to always be excellent to one another.